Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Hope you are all having a fantastic day. Now in this part of the video, I'll be commenting on the build of the model kit. Now this model kit surprisingly has more parts to connect. I guess you can compare it to the AMK Pro X Series A-Plane. I think the only negative that I can say about this, or not really a negative, but an area for improvement for YOLOPARK, is that I think they need to improve on their manual. In my case, which has been building model kits in Gundam for a long time, it is actually not a problem. But I'm pretty sure that there are a lot of Transformer fans out there who has not yet built a model kit, who also wants to have this figure. So I suggest that they improve on their manual, because one thing that I think they can improve on is that they need to at least put a number on the order of the parts to be connected, because I find myself a lot of times connecting and disconnect and removing parts, because the other part should have been put first, because because the other parts overlaps the other parts or something like that. There are also instances wherein I'm looking for specific parts shown in the manual to be connected and I cannot find it. And it turns out it is already connected, it is already pre-connected out of the box. Things like that. They should draw in the manual as the way they box them, because it seems a lot of time. Because I wasted a lot of time sometimes looking for a part, which turned out is already connected to the kit out of the box. Anyway, aside from that, I think this is a good model kit, and it it is really a very good Optimus Prime, a well-detailed kit. I do notice that YOLOPARK's AMK Pro Series now started making a lot of separate parts on their model kit, which is actually a good thing, because more parts to connect means more part separation, and it will really means that the whoever designed this kit really took the time for the details of this kit, because more part separation means more defined details. And that is the advantage of model kits, because compared to a regular figure wherein their focus is more on creating possibly the articulation of the figure, when it comes to model kit, the engineering of the kit actually includes all the separate parts, wherein when put together, it will form a really, really amazing detail of the figure. And I think that's what happened in this model kit, because the part separation and the color separation, this figure really benefited on the new AMK Pro Series touch that YOLOPARK is doing. I do notice though that there is an increase in the price of the newer releases of YOLOPARK, and I guess the main reason is this one, because they wanted their figure to be more detailed. Because for me, who has been building model kits for a while, I really, really like it when a kit comes into a lot of parts to connect, because the magic of building model kits is connecting these different small pieces and then becoming this, well, in this case, Optimus Prime. Which really turned out into this well-detailed figure. Man, if you're a fan of the Last Knight Optimus Prime, this is definitely a must-have figure. I mean, just look at all those details. Just gonna give you a one last sweep of the details of this kit so that you can appreciate it like me. Now that's one good looking Optimus Prime. Now let's go to the accessories. Now, Optimus Prime actually have an articulated hand, meaning these fingers, actually in the case of this one, these two fingers are connected, and then you can also move this. But if you are not into articulated fingers, they also provided this pre-pose alternate arms, which to be honest in my case I prefer this one because they are more stable when it comes to them holding their weapons. It is actually made of soft plastic, so I don't think there will be a problem putting on the weapons on these weapon holding hands. Then of course we cannot have a Prime without pointing hands, and we got a pair of them. And of course, normal open arms hands. And of course, since this is the Last Knight version of Optimus Prime, what is a knight without his sword? And man, this is a well-detailed sword. Just look at that. Definitely a sword worthy of a knight. Then he also has his shield. And he also have one arm blade. Let me be clear about that. Only one arm blade. He doesn't have two, like a pair of arm blade. Just this one. He also comes with this amazing display base, which I really love. One thing though is that there's this new style. I'm not really familiar with this one. I need to read the manual on how to set him up using this kind of connector. So I hope it works. I'm kind of having my doubts on how stable it will be if this is the connector that it has. The display base also has this Autobot logo, which also at the same time serves as the magnet. There's this magnet behind it. If in case you want to turn on the lights on his eyes, wherein you just need to put that magnet there to turn the light on. Although it doesn't come with batteries, that's why I can't show you how bright the light would be on the eyes, because to be honest, I'm not really a fan of lighting effects which requires such the type of batteries that this uses. It's just too much of a hassle for me. There's just too many type of batteries like that, and yeah, it might also happen that I might forget that the battery in there is there, and it will just and through time it will be it will leak and destroy the light effects. Anyway, not really a fan of batteries like that. Now by default, I chose to put this part with the hole where you can connect the shield and the blade. But if you don't like that, you have this alternate part without the hole, without this peg hole. So yeah, just telling you guys that you have this option. And then after I build the figure, I was wondering what these extra parts are, and of course I should read the manual because it is in the manual. It turns out that these are alternate parts for the head if you want to switch him into Nemesis Prime. Basically, the only difference is that he will have this red portion on the left side of his face. So basically, this is one replacement part, and then there's this mouth, alternate mouth for Nemesis Prime. Then this is for the eyes, actually, the blue with the blue shade. Then there's also this alternate one with the red portion. To be honest, I'm not really a fan of this concept that they did, wherein when he becomes Nemesis Prime, there's just this little red thing on his face. For me, they should have made him black. I mean, for Nemesis Prime is black. Why can't they take that? I mean, what is this? Whoever thought of this, nah, I'm not a big fan. So I won't be using those parts. Unless there are these different connector parts for storing the shield and the sword. I will show them later. You know, in case you don't want him holding it, and in a sense, these are the different connector parts that you can use. Here he is with the hand blade on. Here he is with the sword and the shield. I stand corrected though. Those articulated fingers still holds the swords pretty well. Now that's one badass looking Optimus Prime. Now if you don't want to put this on his arms, you can. There's an alternate storage for it, which is to put it on his back, like that. Now all you need to do is remove this part. By the way guys, this is actually the part that I've been telling on the build review, which is I've been looking for it because in the manual it is drawn like this, meaning you connect it. And then I've been spending some time looking for it and then realized that from out of the box, this is already connected there. So why draw it in the manual that, you know, you need to connect it still when it's already there. Anyway, enough of that. In order to connect it, where's that? Oh, here it is. You need to use this connector. Put that there. And then the shield. So there. It will look like that. Yeah, this Prime still looks badass even if the shield's just on his back. Now, if you don't want him holding the sword, you can also store it here in addition to the shield by using this connector. So do that, and then you can now store it. So there, both shields and sword are stored on the back. I also forgot to note that this has a lot of die-cast parts specifically on the leg parts, which is basically what is usually done on model kits because it will make the leg heavier, thus making it more stable when standing the kit. Now for articulation, for the head, it can look down that far, not so much, can look up like that, again not so much, side to side, those will be on the way. Yeah, so I'm actually kind of surprised that the head articulation is kind of limited. If you see on my when I put it when I start this review and I put him on the what's that superhero landing pose, one of the problem that I had is the head. It doesn't look up that much. Now for the hand articulation, this shoulder pads actually goes up like that so that they won't be in the way. Then very tight joints, it can rotate like that. Then can go like that. Then there's a bicep articulation there. May I just comment that there's this design, this one. There's this design, I'm not sure, maybe it's movie accurate, but it's kinda create a limitation on the articulation on here because it's kinda on the way. Yeah, then double elbow, this is articulated too. Then for the arms there, and as I said before, two fingers still, two fingers articulated, and then the thumb is also articulated. Then there's some kind of a butterfly joint, but not really that much. Just that, just a little like that. For the abdomen, it can actually look down, look forward that much. It shows that design. That. It's actually good, I like that, even on the front. Yeah, so it can look down like that. Then it cannot actually bend back at all. It doesn't bend back at all, and then side to side, very little. Even the movement is only like that. Now, for the waist rotation, he has waist rotation, but the joint is kind of a little tight on my side. Which I actually like because I know through time those joints usually loosen up. Now, one of the design decisions that I don't like on this model kit is they decided to make this into a single part. So when you raise that, they move together. And the articulation or the range is not even that much. I mean, if the design is like this, they should be able to move separately and not always the same like that. I was also afraid that this might hinder articulation, but these actually have a drop down. I'm not sure if you guys see it there. There's actually a drop down there, which will enable you to. This will still be on the way, so you're gonna have to like drop it down and then move it on little so that you'll be able to make him kick with that amazing range. Then for the double jointed knee, for the ankle, there's side to side, there's forward and backward, and then he also has a toe articulation. Let me just show it. There, he also has a toe articulation. So yeah, as for the leg articulation wise, it's actually amazing. I guess it follows that since there's nothing blocking its way here, you can practically do that. Just drop down, and there. Yeah, it can actually do that much. You can also do the bend down. So as far as the legs are concerned, articulation range is great. So surprisingly, the only thing I'm disappointed on this figure is the articulation of the head, which is actually surprising because it shouldn't be hard for them to make the head more articulated so that they can look up and down more, with more range. Overall, this is a very fun build, and the only thing that I guess the other thing that I don't like is that connector that they decided to give us now. It's I don't trust this connector on the stand because basically you're just putting it on him like that. So there's a possibility that it will fall because I don't trust the connection. I don't think the connection is that stable. Although so far, woo, it's actually not falling. So maybe I'm underestimating that connection. Anyway, guys, if you are a fan of Prime and you're okay that it is non-transforming because this is more of a model kit, and you cannot afford those very expensive non-transforming figures, yeah, I'm talking about 3-0, which I don't have anything against it. Their figures are amazing. I love them, but let's face it, they are on the high-end price range. I cannot afford them, and this is a very good alternative for that because they are cheaper, and yet the details that are involved with it, I think they are pretty much very movie accurate, which is the advantage of it being a model kit and non-transformable. They can basically copy to make it look like the movie Optimus Prime from Transformers: The Last Knight. So is it a recommend? Definitely. Again, if you're okay with non-transforming Transformers, this will really make a very good display piece because, yeah, it actually doesn't look cheap. Which is again the advantage of model kit and pre-painted model kit to be perhaps, because I don't think I've spoken about the paint job that is done on this model kit. The paint job is amazing. It makes the figure look really high-end and definitely makes the build worth it if this is the final result. If this is the end product to come right. Now, I noticed lately that that YOLOPARK is going more on the AMK Pro Series, meaning they have more parts and they have diecast. I noticed that on their Mirage release, which I already pre-ordered. If that increase in price means this additional focus and engineering on the detail and more diecast parts, I am okay with it. So I think I even heard on the news that they'll be really re-releasing their Bumblebee, Moby Prime, and what's the name of the villain there? Scourge. Yeah, my brain's kind of uh working back, but I think it's Scourge. I think they're gonna be reissuing them on the AMK Pro with the AMK Pro Touch, meaning maybe they have more part separation and diecast. One of the things that I noticed is that I think the Bumblebee Prime, Optimus Prime, will have articulated hands like this one. Now, is that enough for us to, double dip on the model kit of Prime and Scourge? I don't know. I'm gonna think twice on that one because I'd rather focus buying the other new characters with debuts which they're gonna be releasing. But then again, it's Prime. Of course, it's Prime. I can't have enough Prime. Maybe the Prime one I will. The Scourge one, I think I'm content with their first release. Anyway, guys, if you've reached this part of my video, thanks a lot. If you like my video, please don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe. And as usual, guys, enjoy life and keep collecting.